We are here with our Practice Partner Academy with Podiatry Content Connection and Dr. Barbara Ong. They have a brand new topic that they're chatting with us about tonight. I'm really excited about this. How to increase your orthotics dispensing. Basically, all physicians that dispense in the office know what it's like to compete against Amazon and other retailers, such as the Good Feet store. So Dr. Ong's going to tell us all about how we can be better. So, Randy, are you about ready? I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yep, I'm going to kick it off. So,
okay.
Thank you all for being here. Appreciate that. By the way, you mentioned here on the title, how to beat the Good Feet store on Amazon. I just returned last night from California. We're in Palm Desert, 113 degrees. But while I was there, I actually went into the Good Feet store. And it's actually a pretty small store, not a large retail store. And for those of you that have never been in it, it's all about this system that is not custom orthotics. In my opinion, it seems certainly inferior to a custom orthotic, but yet their pricing starts at $1,500. It goes up to the $2,000 some odd dollar range. So I couldn't believe it. I really felt it was a ripoff, but yet they're popping up all over the place. And, and Amazon does a whole lot of business with Dr. Scholl's and so forth. So meanwhile, podiatrists should be the trusted advisors, but unfortunately, many podiatrists are pigeonholed and so forth. We'll talk a little bit about that. So I want to talk about how to increase the number of orthotics that your practice dispenses, whether it be on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So for those of you that know me, my name is Randy Rossler. I'm the National Director of Podiatry Content Connection. Many of you know us, but if you don't, we've grown. It's now 10 years, or a little bit over 10 years, to become the #1 comprehensive digital agency for podiatrists only. And we work with about 500 practices nationwide, a little bit in Canada, a little bit in the UK. But working with small to medium-sized practices, some large ones, but small to medium is our bread and butter. And since almost day one, we've been giving back to podiatry, to the colleges primarily. And, we also do the online marketing for 2 of the colleges, meaning Barry University and Kent State University. And we just got a great testimonial recently from Kent State. And both of those, by the way, I should mention, have clinics, substantial ones, with like 10 or 12 doctors. So we're doing some great things for the colleges to help them, but also we contribute to the colleges, giving about $250,000 back to the industry, and continue to do that every month. So really, one of our customers is Dr. Ong, and I'm so glad that we met years ago, and she became a customer of ours, because she's really a mover and a shaker, and I like the way that she operates. And so I was thrilled that she said she would join us tonight, because she is a great example of how to really do more with orthotics. And so with that, I'm going to kick it off to Dr. Ong and let her tell you a little bit about herself and and her experience. Dr. Ong, it's all you.
Yep, I'm ready. You want to advance the slides? I'm not really seeing the slides, and it might be me.
You're not seeing the slides?
Oh, that's my fault. I told you it might be me.
Okay. Do you see, let me know if you see it now.
Yeah, I do now. Okay, thank you. Actually, I'm not going to tell you anything about me. You can read it or whatever. This is all about how we're going to increase our orthotics sales, and not sales, but presentation, and maybe some coding and those kind of things, rather than about me. So next. So we do have competition. As Randy and everybody has said, we're looking at Dr. Scholl's. We've got Soul Supports, and we've got the Good Feet store, etc. However, they make inserts. They make art supports. We're making custom functional orthotics. And so whenever we're talking in the office with my staff, we're very clear on which item we're talking about, or when we're talking to the patients who have really, significant deformities, and we're trying to rebalance them, offload them, maybe after a bunion surgery or before a bunion surgery. We always talk about custom functional orthotics. If we're going to just put like an art support in prefab, I use them as well. We say prefab, or we say over the counter, but we generally say prefab, because We get them from a orthotic company. They're just made ahead of time with a generic kind of foot measuring thing that they've done. And then we don't sell any of the real just Dr. Scholl type insoles in the office. And we'll talk a little bit about insurance billing and documentation, and pricing is really important. I don't know about a lot of you. If you want to type in how much you all charge, you can be anonymous and say around something, just give us an idea. But I'm finding that a lot of us are underpricing our services and orthotics. You have to think about these orthotics like braces for people's feet or even glasses. Have you gotten new glasses lately? Anybody, you know how much they are? It's the lenses and the actual frames, etc. So when we're doing orthotic, it's really talking about custom functional orthotics. It's our time, it's our schooling to come up with a prescription for the patient. It's the time to educate the patient. So you want to price it in a reasonable fashion that covers all of that. So it's not just the little pieces of plastic that we're giving out. We're actually giving a treatment to the patient that we want to kind of point that out. So when we're presenting to the patient. So when I discuss orthotics with the patient, and I call it presenting to the patient, we're going to tell them about the condition. We're going to explain the difference between custom and prefab, or what the Good Feet store devices are, because they're off-the-shelf devices that they go back in their back of the store, and they come back and they do that little foot mapping thing with the ink and all that, or pressure sensing. And then they put little pads and things on there saying, now, here's your customized. That's the word they use, customized, right? So customized is not custom. And we have to explain that to our patient. And then we explain the cost. Well, the cost is because it's custom made to you. Nobody else can wear them. Only you can wear them. It's like braces. Nobody else can wear your braces or your retainers. I put that in there too. It's yours and it's only to you. It only works for you. And then I want to focus a little bit on the delivery of the device. When we present and give our patients the device, when we dispense them, how are you presenting this to them on that day? I think that can play a little bit of a role in how the patient perceives the value that they're getting. So it's really giving value to what the patient thinks they're getting. So I'll go over that in a couple slides. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what we call cash for clunkers in the summer. So in August, we'll send out emails to all our patients or put up a notice on our website that if they have old orthotics, custom orthotics, at one time we thought, well, we'll even put in some of their other devices that they have bought, like at the Good Feet store, and we'll give them maybe $50 or $100 towards a new orthotic. So we're not really going to lose a lot, but we might get new patients or returning patients getting new orthotics. So that's a little bit of a kind of promotion that we do in the summer. And then we set goals in the office, how many devices a week. And it's not just getting the orthotics, it's how many presentations of devices am I going to talk about. I try to kind of remember that, all my surgery patients, before surgery, I'm going to talk about the fact that they might need orthotics. Even those patients with ingrown toenails, especially kids with ingrown toenails. A lot of them have bunions, and that's probably why they get ingrown toenails. So we present orthotics to their parents about them. So there's many reasons why we're going to give orthotics, not just plantar fasciitis. I know we kind of pigeonhole ourselves in thinking that it's just plantar fasciitis, but there's other opportunities. So we try to put in the fact that for every one of our patients, we're going to try to present an orthotic. That's always a very safe alternative. It's non-invasive. It does no harm, and everybody can benefit from it. So we try to put that in. And how many presentations are you going to give a week? And how many devices do you actually then do a week, a month? We put our targets in to see if we can meet them. And then we look at our financials for the profit center, saying, based on all the things that we've done, are we meeting our financial goals in that profit center for the practice? Next slide. Okay, so a little bit about billing. So I am on the APMA coding billing committee. And as part of that, we say, you know, the L3000 is the closest, most accurate code that you can use for our custom functional orthotics, regardless of how you take the imaging. Whether you do a digital imaging, you capture it with fiberglass, you capture it with foam padding, etc. It doesn't matter. The device itself is L3000. And when you bill it out, you may want to bill it out on 2 different lines. And it can depend on the insurance company. Some insurance companies, they put it on one line and put an RT and an LT for the right and left 2 devices. Or some insurance companies, they put one on each line, you know, and you put an RT and LT. So you have to go to their coverage policy and see how they want you to do it. Do a lot of you use fee agreement forms? So again, in the chat box, if you want to put, yes, you have a fee agreement form. Whether you take their insurance or you don't take their insurance, it doesn't matter. I have a fee agreement form that tells the patient that this is a custom-made device. It cannot be returned, that we will make that work for them. Also, the fact that we collect a deposit. So think about that. Do all of you collect a deposit for, I don't call it a deposit for the device. I actually say a deposit that will go on their account. Meaning, if they have other outstanding balances, that deposit will go towards them as well. If their insurance covers it, great. And they have a balance due back, we will write them a check at our next billing cycle. But let's say it went towards a deductible, or their office visit went toward a deductible, but the orthotics were covered. That balance, that deposit that you collect can go towards their balance on their account, rather than them coming back and asking you for, well, I gave you a deposit, my orthotic got paid, so can you return my money? Now you're chasing that deductible that you need, you know, they needed to pay, right? So it just goes on their account, and their account gets adjudicated before any deposit returns can be made. And then we have a form that says that they received the orthotics. And oftentimes I'm not the one dispensing them. My medical assistant might be dispensing them. So she has a script that she follows to give the instructions. And then she has them sign a form that says that they received them, they were in good condition. We put them in their shoes, we trimmed the top covers, etc., whatever it may be, it's on that form. And the patient signs it, we scan it, we give that form to the patient. We don't have a problem, but we've got it scanned into the chart so that they can never say, well, I never came and got it, or, you know, whatever. It just cover the medical assistant's behind, I call it, so that we know that they did it properly. And then if their insurance does cover it, that delivery form is important because it's the date that you can actually bill their insurance. You cannot bill an insurance for the orthotics or any DME until the day of delivery, until the patient actually receives it. So if you billed it on the day that you casted them to their insurance, that could be considered fraud, because the patient has not received the device. So you're billing for something that the patient hasn't received. So do be careful about that. And that's where that delivery form comes into really play, is that here's the date of delivery. That's when we're billing it. Next. So in the past, I use Comfort Fit, so I have no problem. I've used them for almost like 25 years. And this is the way we get them back from Comfort Fit, right? The patient's name, et cetera, is on it, and it comes in a plastic bag. And I've thought about this a long time, saying, you know, it looks pretty cheesy, because it looks like some of the ready-made orthotics that we dispense. So a lot of the ProLab orthotics that we do that are prefab, they come in a little plastic bag, and we give them that way as well. So they look similar. So now what we've gone to is, next slide, this little box. And Randy always teases me that I like this blue and purple. I do. And it just came that way. Just when I started practice, those colors were what I liked. It turns out that blue color is Tiffany blue. Nice, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purple, so the inside of the box, it's the slide box. So the outside has our logo and our slogan on it. And then inside the box is actually instructions on how to, for the patients to wear them. So they don't have to lose the instructions anymore. They don't have to go, oh, I didn't get the instructions. I don't know where the paper is. It's right there in the box. It's printed in the box. So it's pretty nifty. And we just put the orthotics in there and then we bring it out to the patient. It's sitting on the table when they arrive. And then whoever's dispensing it, if it's a MA or me, we come in there, we open the box and show them the instructions. Well, we won't read the instructions to them, but we explain it's all in here if you forget after today. But this, it's very simple. It's like 4 lines of put them in, wear them, go about your business, leave them in. If it doesn't hurt, if it hurts, take them out and try it again the next day. Pretty much it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't try to make it hard or make them like wear a watch to figure out how long they wear it every day.
Right.
We don't have enough time in the day. So that's what we do. And it's been actually met with a lot of like surprise and smiles on people's faces. It costs us a little bit of money. These can cost somewhere anywhere between $10 and $12 to be, to be made. But the next is the next one, pricing. So yeah, so the pricing is the thing that gets us over the fact that we're going to pay $12 a box to dispense an orthotic, right? We changed our pricing over the December 2022. And these numbers are not exact, but the 47% is exact. I'm just using it as an example. We increased the amount of orthotics dispensed by 47%. The reason I'm putting that there and showing you is that 2022, the total amount was 57. Okay, this 27 is actually just the first 3 months. So we used to charge around we charge around $550, and now we're charging $790. So that's what happened in December of 2022. And even though we're charging more, we actually have increased the number of orthotics by 47% since doing that. And some people go, but that's a lot of money. But a lot of our patients go, oh, well, that's a lot less than the Good Feet store. We're like, yes, it is. It's like a third of what the Good Feet store is, right? And they're getting a real custom device made to their foot with a prescription. And I always tell my patients, well, at least here you have a doctor. You can come back and yell at me if there's a problem. Those are shoe salesmen that are trying to sell you these inserts and then 2 or 3 pairs of shoes on top of it. So you're going to go out of there with lots and lots of money that you've spent. And we all know, shoes are not the answer to real foot problems. Seeing a doctor and getting the right diagnosis and the right treatment plan is the real thing for the patient. So I had a little bit of qualms of increasing price so high, but since I've done it, I have had no problem. I look everybody in the eye when they ask me. I don't shy from telling my patients how much they are. And we just tell them here it is. It's right there also on our fee schedule that tells them, here's what it is for the devices. Here's what we charge for the cast impressions. And this is the total price. We used to give a discount if the patient paid, if they didn't have insurance coverage. Now we don't. We charge the same price whether you have insurance or you don't have insurance. It doesn't matter because we are giving the same device whether you have insurance or not for a real medical treatment. Why are we discounting our services, right? If I really don't think that we should be discounting our services when we're doing it for all the right reasons. Okay, next. Oh, it's poll time.
Yeah. Some great information, by the way, really good. So Anne, you want to jump back in here? And it looks like, by the way, Anne, and Sarah, looks like there's 6 questions in there.
Yes, there are. They're in response to Dr. Ong's inquiries.
Okay.
$400. Have you found care credit works? How much do you do for a deposit? Do you want to chat about these now?
Sure. So $400 is, I need to increase it. I don't care where you live. I used to think that in Tucson, Arizona, we couldn't get that much, but yes, you can. And there will be some people who won't get the custom orthotics, and that's why we have the prefab devices. So you can have them get those. And I'm going to tell you, about 25 to 35% of those people who get the prefab come back after a few months or a year and get custom. So you need to really sit down and think about increasing your what you're charging. And then I don't offer care credit. Everybody's got credit cards already. They don't need to get more credit cards. I don't want people to get into more debt if they don't need to. So use the credit cards they have. We take a deposit of $250. And then when they come and pick it up, if they're not covered by insurance, they can pay the entire price on the day that we take the mold, or they can just do the deposit. If their insurance does cover it, we still take the deposit, and then we bill the insurance when they are dispensed. And like I said, once they're dispensed, we bill insurance. If insurance pays and they have any balances outstanding, we apply that deposit to their balance. And then if they still have monies due back, then we refund a check. What other questions did I miss?
Where do you get the boxes made?
Well, there's a young man whose father is a podiatrist. It turns out, I did not know. And he started making these boxes. And I certainly can get you that information before the end of the presentation. I'll put it in the chat box.
Can you charge for both the orthotics and impressions for the orthotics?
Absolutely, we do. So I should have put it on there. It depends on the insurance plan, but like TRICARE, you have to use the unlisted code for cast impressions. And then with the other insurance, it's S3957, I believe. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the chat. I always forget the number, but it's S39 something.
What about a money back guarantee?
No money back guarantees because these are custom made to the patients. But what we guarantee is that we're going to make it right, so they'll be able to wear it so that we can actually correct their problem. So if you do a bunion, do you give a money back guarantee? No, we don't. It's the same thing here. But we are obliged, and we're happy to work with the patient to make sure that they are going to be functioning well and be using their orthotics more often than not.
All right, we've got one more question, then we'll get to the poll results. What brand prefab orthotics do you like?
I use ProLab because they're ProLab is a orthotic lab in California, and they make customs as well, but their prefabs are literally the closest to the custom orthotics that I can find. I have absolutely no complaints from patients with these prefabs. In fact, some patients love them so much that, especially men, I don't know why, but they'll come in and buy like 2 additional pairs because they don't want to take them out from one shoe and put them in another shoe.
All right, so thank you very much for answering all those questions. And you guys, if you have more questions, we're going to get to them throughout the thing. So just keep typing them in the box. So Randy, can you see the results? I don't know if only I can see
I
them?
can, yeah. Actually, it looks like the first one was the about do you prescribe enough? So it was 65% feel that they don't prescribe enough. 35% feel like they prescribe just the right amount, and only 0 overprescribe. So nobody's overprescribing. 65% feel that they are not prescribing or dispensing enough orthotics.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So let me make that go away. And right, well, thanks for sharing on that. What else? Share results. That's what it says. Stop sharing. Okay. Okay, got it. So I'm going to move on. Any other questions for Dr. Ong would do now or later on? Otherwise, I'm going to continue on here.
I threw a question in the chat, Randy, since I'm not
Sure.
able to put it in the I can't ask questions in the question box.
Okay.
I have to put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Can you see it?
I saw something.
In the
Okay,
chat box.
I can. I mean, I'm talking. I might as well just
Yeah.
say it.
So,
Dr. Ong, what would you? I know some labs offer almost like, I guess you could call it like an economy custom orthotic that doesn't come with many accommodations or adjustments. Would you ever recommend a practice offer a custom orthotic that's more of an economy style that isn't kind of all the full bells and whistles of custom, or would it make more sense just to do an OTC?
I think I would just do the prefab, and because that's kind of like, yeah, it's a generic custom, but it's I would rather do that and say, here, I'm going to make you a custom orthotics, but it's kind of like it doesn't have anything. So what's the point?
Right. Got it.
Right.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because I just know, a lot of labs will say, well, we've got this $60 orthotic, and it's like, is it going to really do much for the patient?
Yeah, no. A lot of my patients that don't have a lot of deformities, let's say for plantar fasciitis, or they just feel a little fatigued and tired, I'll use a prefab. But if they have a lot of deformities, then I'm not even going to recommend a prefab for them. I go right for custom, because it doesn't make sense for them to try a prefab when you've got these bunions sticking out and hammer toes, and maybe metatarsalgia or maybe a neuroma, things like that. So it depends on the patient's condition. But even for plantar fasciitis, sometimes a prefab isn't enough, and we have to do custom. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take it from here. So in my line of work, I end up speaking to podiatrists every day of the week. Well, maybe not on the weekends, usually not. But although this weekend will, because we'll be at the conference in Nashville. But in any event, I find that it is a fact that, podiatrists are podiatrists every day of the week. They tell me that orthotics are an underutilized profit center for them and their practice. And if they're a solo practitioner, that's one thing. If they have 3, 4, 5 doctors, it's another. But, they're just not doing enough in the way of custom orthotics, and they know it, But the good news is that there's certain benefits that we all know to marketing orthotics that I think Dr. Ong mentioned, that it's a conservative treatment for patients. Seniors tend to like that. The patients will pay cash for that. That's a good thing. Orthotics appeal to everyone, every age, every demographic, and their utilization seems to be increasing by the public every year. And again, with the Good Feet store and, Dr. Scholl's, in some ways, we can piggyback off of that because they're setting the table, doing some advertising. They're consumable, they need to be replaced, and patients, will come to you. So these are good things, and the market just continues to grow. Now, whether that's because of us baby boomers getting older and heavier, but the market is growing every year. But here's part of the problem. Was out of sight, out of mind. In other words, even if your practice has the best orthotics available, if patients are unaware that they exist or that they should get them from you as opposed to Dr. Scholl's or the Good Feet store, then it doesn't matter how great your orthotics are. So you don't want to be what I call the best kept secret. And so who isn't out of sight? Well, it's, competition, meaning, millions of people are buying shoe inserts, and thinking they're getting orthotics, especially from, Walmart and Amazon and the Good Feet store. As I mentioned, I visited the Good Feet store over the weekend. I couldn't believe it, with the prices that they're charging and what they're delivering or not delivering. Dr. Scholl's, this comes from one of the orthotics manufacturers, told me that the Dr. Scholl's sells about $500,000 a month on Amazon, just on Amazon, for their shoe inserts and arch supports. So, and again, these are not, nothing like a custom thing. So I call it buyers beware. You're not getting, the Good Feet store, like Dr. Ong mentioned, is not delivering what Dr. Ong is delivering as far as a custom orthotic. It's a different animal. So on the other hand, as I mentioned, that a lot of this massive advertising by Dr. Scholl's and the Good Feet store and radio and TV has increased awareness. It's highlighted the need for orthotics, or they spin it like it's orthotics, but it's really not. They're shoe inserts. And in a sense, in my opinion, they've kind of set the table for podiatrists and others to sell more orthotics. But if patients don't know that you offer custom orthotics or inserts, you're kind of playing a game of like hide and go seek, but this game is costing you money, because orthotics are a great profit center. And, it's not all about you. It's about helping your patients have healthy feet. So here we go. We got another poll here, and Ann, I'll let you take it away over here as well.
All right, stand by. This one is, does it say on the homepage? Okay. Launch. There we go.
All right. So does it say on the homepage of your website that you offer orthotics or shoe inserts? It's like watching a horse race. It's like
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
We're neck and neck here.
Neck and neck. This is neat. No, I can see the results coming in. I assume that you guys cannot see that. Is that correct? Yeah.
I know I can see them. I don't know.
I don't know the general audience. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you're part of our attendees tonight and you can see those poll results already, give us a thumbs up. We're just curious what it looks like on your end.
Yeah.
I can't see them.
Oh, I see a thumbs up.
Oh, I see a couple
Yes,
thumbs up.
there are thumbs ups coming in.
How do you like that?
Where are you guys seeing these poll results? Why am I not able to handle Zoom right now?
I was a party hat. Okay. So, all right. So it looks like, from what I'm seeing, does it say on the homepage of your website that you offer orthotics or shoe inserts? 38% said yes, and 62% know that it doesn't say it on the homepage of the website. So again, out of sight, out of mind. So if they don't see it, and one of the phrases that I tend to use is, podiatrists, unfortunately, like other doctors, are pigeonholed. If somebody comes to see you for an ingrown toenail, they remember you as their toenail doctor. And we'd hate to see one of your patients go to an orthopedic practice for heel pain, but we know they do that. And the same thing here is we'd hate to see them drive to Walmart to go to the Dr. Scholl's kiosk instead of seeing you about, custom orthotics. So let's move on. So, the question is, how do you change from being kind of hidden to being visible? And, keep in mind that most people, not everyone, but most people do learn visually. So let's get visually educate and guide patients to proper foot care. And so one way to do that is orthotics can be more visible. Now, hey, we create websites for our customers, and I got to tell you that we can do more. We could and should do more in this area. And so orthotics need to be more visible on our websites as among other companies that do what we do. So, it should be front and center, and it should be visible. So it should be certainly on the homepage, maybe on the slideshow that goes across. It should be certainly under services. And we're really expanding this we've been working on this for a couple months now to build this out, because we recognize that, a lot of podiatrists are basically, recognizing that this is a great profit center, some podiatrists told me that they make as much money on orthotics as they do in surgery, sometimes more. So we want to put in more, hey, our company name is Podiatry Content Connection. So we do a whole lot in the way of blogs and articles on a weekly basis. But what we're doing now is we are continuing that, but we're adding a major emphasis into showcasing and writing about through blogs and articles on orthotics. And I'm learning as I go along and speaking with Dr. Ong and guys like Louis DeCaro, who works with children and orthotics there, that orthotics are not just for adults, they're for children. They're for women with high heels or for athletes or corporate. I mean, there's all different variations of orthotics, and we can write blogs, and we are writing about all different variations and uses of orthotics and custom orthotics. And, benefits of the blogs, that it is patient education. We know that people are Googling stuff all the time. It helps patients find you. It builds credibility, kind of sets the table, makes more orthotics more visible on your website. Keywords and key phrases like orthotics or custom orthotics that are embedded into blogs and articles that will have links directly to a special, like a landing page on your website that is going to really focus in on orthotics. And it's going to have cool images and benefits and videos and maybe an ebook, etc. So it's going to be, I don't want to call it Orthotics Central, but it's going to be something that you've never seen before and all focused on orthotics. Now, right now, over the last, we've been doing this over 10 years, but over 4 years now, we've been adding something to our content marketing system, which is called spot campaigns. They're mixed in with our blog. So they're basically call to action photo ads, so to speak. They're published to drive more appointment requests from both existing patients and prospective patients and some website traffic. So they're routinely posted to your website, and then they're pushed to certain social networks, including Google and Twitter, and of course your website, and so you can stay connected. So they're also sent as email campaigns through one of our programs that's been really successful called Feedback and Reviews. It's actually a reputation management program, but it has built into it a kind of a supercharged email delivery system similar to like a Constant Contact, where we could do campaigns for custom orthotics, heel pain, whatever it is. But we've had very good results in doing these things for custom orthotics. So we are going to be expanding on this in a big way. So we've taken some of these spot campaigns, and these are some brand new ones that nobody's ever seen before. They were just created just recently. As I mentioned before, different types of orthotics. So different images, some for women, some for athletes, some for children, etc. So we're going to continue to do this and have a bunch of different variations of blogs and articles and spot campaigns and videos that would all come together. And then I think it's really important that you have orthotic images, not just on your website, but in your office. I go to a doctor's office, I'm sitting in the waiting room, staring at a wall. Well, why not have something on the wall that speaks to the benefits of orthotics? Here's one that shows like the difference between generic insoles and custom orthotics. And, this is just an example. We're going to be designing something pretty cool that basically inspires somebody who's either on your website or in your office to speak with the doctor and or inquire at the front desk if this is something you'd like to learn more about. So we'll do both digital and in-office type things, whether it's like a poster in the office and or like on a TV screen. This is very rough, but we've got the outline now, which is our first ebook on orthotics. And we haven't really designed it yet, but this is all in production. So I just want to share it tonight. But, again, through our feedback and review system, people have the ability to opt in to download this ebook. You can capture if it's a prospective patient, you could theoretically capture their name and their email address in exchange for this ebook on orthotics and foot health, and then have the ability to kind of do drip campaigns on them to get them into the office. Oh, look, I think this is the final poll of the evening. So,
Ooh, here it comes. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let's see. Weekly amount launch.
Right. So how many pairs of custom orthotics do you prescribe on a weekly basis? And the choice is 1 pair, 2 pairs, or 3 or more. It's interesting. I like the way it tallies it up as they're coming in. That's neat.
We need Jeopardy music.
We do. That would be good.
Surprised Carol doesn't have it pulled up yet.
Yeah, right? I was bummed to hear that Pat Sajak is actually retiring next year.
Oh, it's a sad
I don't know what we're going to do with that guy.
day.
He's great. Okay, we're getting there. Give it another couple seconds, and so it looks like right now from those that submitted, 54% are dispensing one pair per week, only one pair. 23% are doing 2 pairs, and 23% are doing 3 or more. So it's almost, almost 50, but the majority are just doing 1 pair. So that's interesting. Share that away. So here's some numbers, and Dr. Ong, actually, she's got a great profit center. These numbers are more conservative than hers. So a pair of custom orthotics typically cost about $100 to the podiatrist. Sell a pair. Now, Dr. Ong is selling, I think she said for $790. That we're using an example of selling a pair for $500. So that would be a $400 profit per pair. If I spoke with a podiatrist about a week ago that he prescribes about 2 pairs per day, 5 days a week. 10 pairs a week at $400. That's $4,000 per week. It's a nice number. Times 4 weeks would be $16,000 profit per month. Times 12 months, $192,000 per year. Now, I know that the average, according to Podiatry Management Magazine, the average podiatrist is earning about $140,000 a year. Some are in less than that, some are in a lot more than that. But in any event, this is a healthy number, regardless of what you're earning, if you could do this much in orthotics. And again, you're helping more patients. But let's cut that in half. If let's say you just do 1 pair per day, times 5 days, then we're talking about $8,000 per month, $96,000 profit per year. I mean, for most podiatrists, on average, from what we're seeing, this would have a real nice impact, to their practice and their income. So that is a good thing. And so just like you guys are, just like patients go to you because you're a specialist. We're specialists in our fields, and this is, this idea came to me a couple of months back because as I mentioned, that I speak with podiatrists every day, and this comes up repeatedly. That saying that orthotics is absolutely a profit center, and podiatrists seem to get excited about it, but for whatever reason, they're just not dispensing enough of it. So that's how this all came about. So we've had great success in helping podiatrists do all kinds of things on the web and basically help a lot of podiatrists go from what I call being invisible on page 1 of Google to being very visible. And now we want to do something similar, take that to another level, to go from being, orthotics being invisible might be an exaggeration, but well hidden, let's say, from that to being much more visible on your website. And we've got a lot of podiatrists, and as I mentioned, I'm heading to the APMA event tomorrow. And while I must admit that the attendance and the exhibit halls and just the event itself, for various reasons, is definitely down. I still enjoy going to the events because I get to see Anne and Sarah and the whole gang and Dr. Ong and our customers. And it's great to hear from our customers because, me as an entrepreneur and a business owner, I like helping other business owners, and we're absolutely making our mark in helping doing that. So I'm excited about this, to launch something new that's going to help them not just increase their overall web presence, but actually tap into an area like custom orthotics where they can really get more profit and help more patients. So I want to, encourage you guys to take advantage of this. We go into a little bit of a deeper dive to show you. You probably be the first group to see this because it's not even launched yet. It's still in beta and production, but take advantage of what I call an orthotics acceleration session, so we can show you how we would go about doing this, and you gain some clarity and insight on your visibility in general. We'll run reports. You'll learn how to market orthotics better than you do right now. You'll learn more details about how we would help you in your practice showcase and promote orthotics online and in your office, and see how you compare against maybe some of your competition. And we go over a lot more, but this would really be focused on orthotics. So if you're interested in learning about how to really increase that number, I encourage you to text me. That's my cell there. As I mentioned, I'm heading to the APMA event tomorrow, so I'm going to be out the rest of the week, but next week or the week after, I'm around. And I got to tell you, we're getting phenomenal feedback from podiatrists that are very interested in this area. They want to increase their orthotic sales. Some podiatrists say to me, no, they want more new patients. Others say, no, I'm retiring in a year or two. I don't need more new patients. Maybe they need better quality patients, but orthotics always strikes a chord in a good way. They want to do more orthotics because it is a profit center. So if you're interested in that, text orthotics to my number, 917-572-5088. And with that, I think I'm going to start wrapping up here. And there's Dr. Ong's contact information as well as mine. And if you're going to be at the APMA event this week, definitely drop by and see us. We're going to be, Elaine and I will be at booth number 622. If you're a customer of ours, definitely come by. We always give out cool gifts to our customers. And if you're not, we've got our prize wheel where we give away Starbucks gift cards, tech items, and I always stock up with all kinds of goodies for the conferences. But again, one of the things I love about the conference is that we get to see our customers. They tell us about how the nature of what we do is helping their practice really grow and all that good stuff. So I love it. So I'm looking forward to it. The weather seems to be good for traveling tomorrow, so I'll be there. And hopefully this works. Carol said it worked on hers. It didn't work on mine. But if you're interested, we have a what I call a 2-minute orthotic survey. So instead of giving you a penny for your thoughts, we give you $10 for your thoughts in the form of a Starbucks gift card that we email to you from starbucks.com. And it's just a couple questions to get some more insight. Sarah, let me know. I see you're scanning that. Is coming up with anything?
I'm looking at it too to see. I got it to pop up. Yeah.
You did? Okay, great. So then it goes to a short survey there. So let me know if that works. So again, if you're going to be at the National, come see us. And if you have any final thoughts or questions, now would be a good time. I'm going to start wrapping it up. So.
All right. So there are some questions in the box here.
Okay.
Stop me if we've already covered any of these. I think this one is for Dr. Ong. What % failure rate do you have?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not going to say 100%, but I don't even, in general, I have less than 1% that I have to send back for any repairs or remakes or anything to the orthotic. If I get the cast right from the beginning, and I still use the suspension casting using fiberglass. So if they have real big deformities, I will not use digital scanning. And I've never really used foam boxes, except for some of my diabetic patients to get like a insole, cushion insole. But I do suspension casts and really, really little failure rate. We send out notices to patients on a yearly basis that they need to come in and have their foot checked and their orthotics evaluated. And a lot, I won't say a lot, but maybe 30% come in to do that. We also send notices at about 3 to 6 months to give them an opportunity to buy a second pair at a discount because we don't have to do the casting again. The second pair price is $379 or $397. Sorry, $397 for a second pair. And they can get the second pair either the same way or they can get a dress shoe model, a different device, but same cast. What else do we do? I don't know. That's a lot of answers for that one question.
Did you touch on how much do you charge for your prefab? Did we already talk about that?
No, my prefab it's funny. I was charging about $60 and we increased that to $127. And they also sell pretty well.
Gotcha.
Now, the prices did go up. And so we did increase it because the prices went up. But I just increased it to the limit I thought I could, still being a value because I looked at some of the prefabs at like Summit Hut or the Big Five Sporting Goods store and so forth, and they're selling them for $140, $150.
There's a marketing term called, I think it's called the elasticity of demand, where you can see how high you can raise an ask before people stop taking.
Right. But I wasn't just doing that, but I did some comparison shopping and found out that these devices, if they're not being, and they're not the same as the ones that are coming from the lab that are prefab, right? They're still kind of flimsy and they're at $120, $130, $170. So going to, 100, I think we said 127 or something. That was no brainer.
Yeah.
Sarah, you want to take a couple of these or?
Absolutely. How long do you tell your patients the orthotics last on average?
I tell them somewhere between 3 to 5 years. And we actually put a expiration date on them, but we put about 2 years on the expiration just to say they can come in and have it evaluated if they didn't pay attention to the 1 year reminder. And most people, I will say that we don't have a lot of people that will like come in 2 years to get new pairs, but after about 3 to 4 years, we do. We have a lot of people that I just need orthotics, so coming back.
All right. So we've been talking a lot about functionals, but what do you charge for custom diabetic inserts? And I imagine, are those still covered by the A5513 code for Medicare, or has any of that changed?
So those are based on whatever Medicare is going to pay us. It doesn't matter what I charge, right? So we have a fee schedule that we stick to. Our fee schedule is about 150% of Medicare fee schedule. So we take Medicare fee schedule, multiply it by 150%, and that's our fee schedule. So that's how scientifically based we are on fee schedules.
Sorry, I muted myself. Let's see. Do you use any floor scanner?
I don't use even, like the 3D iPad scanner to make custom orthotics because you can't lock the mid-tarsal and you can't lock the joints and you can't put that plantar flexion on the first metatarsal head and do all that you need to do to get a really good orthotic. So I'm still the one casting patients, and I will literally take the molds. It doesn't take that long. I just take the mold and leave them there once I know it's starting to get hard, and my medical assistant will take them off. So it's not like I had to spend a lot of time doing it.
Have you ever tried, and this is just from me, have you ever tried using a sulcus stick?
Yeah, I've seen those, but you're telling the patient to hold this or somebody has to hold it. I'd still rather get the orthotic cast the way I'm doing it because the patient sees that. That's the other thing. The patient goes, the doctor did it, so usually there's no complaint. If the medical assistant did it, they're gonna start pointing that out. But the medical assistant didn't do it the way you did it, so I give the patient no opportunity to find fault.
Another question came in for marketing purposes. Do you recommend a customized family podiatry, quote unquote, top cover on the orthotics in addition to the custom box?
I used to have a logo on the cover, but mostly the leather ones that are made for women's shoes, I have a logo on that, our logo. But other than that, no, I look at what the patient really needs and I'll pick a top cover that's going to be best for them. So if they're a sports kind of guy, sometimes I pick a Spanko cover because it's a little bit thinner and it absorbs sweat a little bit better, etc. Right? And then for even for some of my older patients that I'm doing a custom orthotic, I might put actually a PPT, like a diabetic cover, even though they're not getting a diabetic insole, right? I never call my diabetic orthotics or diabetic insoles, because they're not orthotics. They're diabetic insoles, whether they're prefabricated diabetic insoles, heat molded, or they're custom diabetic insoles, molded to the patient model. If you go look at the description, they say diabetic insoles.
Out of here, how do you have any competition in your market with like prosthetics and orthotics labs or anything like that? They're not labs, but like just your orthopedic practices versus.
Yeah, I mean, we have a large orthopedic institute. There's like 50, 60, 100 doctors in there, and they have, their own little lab area. I mean, we have Hanger in our area that's huge lab and congrats and stuff. It doesn't seem to matter. Really doesn't matter.
That's good news. So no insurance other than Medicaid covered orthotics. So back to the crux of the problem, I can't get my patients
To pay for a pad, much less $400 to $6 an orthotic. What is the magic sauce to get patients on board?
I'm going to tease you and go me. No, just kidding. It really doesn't matter if they have Medicaid or not. We have Medicaid called Access, and ours do not pay for orthotics, right? If a patient really needs it, they will figure out a way to get it. And the issue is how you present this to them, and why you feel so strongly that this is the best treatment plan for them. A lot of patients, I believe in that. I believe that orthotics are like a miracle worker. I might not have said that when I was in medical school. I used to argue with my biomechanics professor all the time, saying how crazy he was. He was crazy because he wants to look at every little angle and dangle. I don't do that. I look at just function and go, how am I going to fix this function? As long as I've got that cast corrected properly, I've had no problem. Like I said, the first time it's out, they're gone, they used it. A lot of my patients actually call to cancel their orthotic check appointments. They're like, I'm doing fine. I don't need you. Thanks.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a rarity if they show up for an orthotic check appointment.
Do you have any recommendations on a brush up skills course for orthotics prescribing?
Oh my gosh. I used to think that I needed that as well. I'm going to tell you that Louis DiCaro is amazing. He teaches you in a functional way and not these angles and dangles like I don't believe in either, right? I'm not a runner. I never have been. And these runners drive me crazy with every little angle and little thing that they talk to me about. So I send them to the guy who likes all the running people. And I keep the bunions and the hammer toes and neural ones, the kids and all that stuff that, are playing sports or whatever. But so I think Louis has online courses that you can take reasonably priced. If you go to one of his seminars, is great. But I'm trying to remember who it was that who said something to me that made sense. It's like, it's really very basic. It's like the first met has to come down. You've got to plantar flex that first met to get the arch and everything in the right place. You got to lock the subtalar joint and metatarsal joint. And pretty much if you've got your foot and leg in 90 degree, that's it. That's all you need. All this other fancy stuff, most people don't care. The runners do care. That's why I don't do runners. They care about every little pad and everything. So having kind of known my wheelhouse, I just started sending all those runners away to somebody else, right? They're better off with somebody who can go out and go run with them and actually look at how they're functioning than somebody like me. I used to do that, but I gave that up after a year of practice. Yeah.
I was just throwing in some examples of locations where you might be able to find some resources from labs.
Oh,
I'm aware.
thanks. Yeah. And there is an answer to the orthotic box. It's called orthoticbox.com. The only problem, like I said, is that you have to, you ordered the whole bunch, 150 at a time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes came because they're already pre-made. 5 huge boxes came to the office and we had to figure out where to put them.
For complex or difficult patients, do you have a limit on how many times you'll send the orthotic back to the orthotist for adjustments?
No. And I rarely had to do it maybe more than once or twice. And in the I'm going now on 30 years. In the 30 years, I probably have refunded 2 people because either they didn't feel I was doing a good enough job for them or I didn't feel like I could satisfy them. So I'm like, here's your money. And you're, welcome to go look somewhere else because obviously we're not making you happy or healthier in your feet. So I'm happy to do that. So somebody asked about money back guarantee. I don't announce it, but when we have that much trouble, I will go ahead and here it is.
I know we did a poll for everyone to say how many they dispense. How many do you dispense per week?
So I don't look at how many dispense per week because what happens sometimes the lab is a little slow. I look at how many do I actually take a mold of per week, right? So I'm gonna say that I'm getting anywhere from 3 to 5 per day. But I only see patients 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in surgery one of the days. And one of the other days I'm doing my, I call it my CEO business. So I'm writing articles, I'm doing getting my stuff presentations, or if I'm writing an article or whatever else I need to do.
Pretty
Hey,
good.
looking at bills, those kind of things.
Good stuff.
So we got another one pop up. Just curious, is AFO casting in your wheelhouse or do you send that to an orthotist?
No, I do AFO in my office. So a long time ago, we tried that whole process with the company that would send out a prosthetist to do that. And you could, if you had somebody like that, you could find more people that you could benefit. But I found that to be too much to run through the practice. So I am very selective on who I'm going to do the AFOs for. So, but I do AFOs in the office and I cast them myself. I don't do custom diabetic shoes anymore. I do send that to Hanger to make the custom diabetic shoe. We still do regular diabetic shoes in the office. We fit them.
All right.
That's
Good.
it.
All right. So, well, Dr.
we went
thank you for
overtime.
joining us.
Yeah.
It was great. Really good info. We're good with the questions, right?
We're good for the questions. I'm just looking for a link to send really quick. So I'm just scouring really quick to help this
Sure.
question really quick, just for resources for anybody who's interested in AFO casting.
So Randy, you mentioned that PCC was going to start offering kind of an expanded program for orthotics.
Yep.
I didn't catch it. Did you mention when you expect that to launch or,
Yeah, I'm thinking probably sometime in the next month or two.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, we're working on it for a couple months and everything is a thing. We want to get it right. So we've been doing surveys and testing and so we're excited about it. So I did get some people that reached out to me that texted me for the orthotic sessions. If you haven't, I encourage you to do that. You'll be one of the first ones to see this. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. So we're excited about it. But and again, if you're going to be at the National, come see us at booth 622. We can talk more. And I know it's a little bit after 9.
Anna, are we going to do our winner or are we going to pull that later?
No, I'm going to do that later because that requires me to run a whole report and ain't nobody got time for that.
Somebody's going to win now.
So, but if you're here, you're in the running. So that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I will send out the winner by the end of the week and then we'll contact you to get your money, or you can just donate it back to the cause of Ann and Sarah.
Yeah,
Ah,
there you go.
Keep the money.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Looks,
kidding.
looks like most people really stayed with us to the end, so that's great. So thank you all for being here, and Ann and Sarah, thank you. Look forward to seeing you in Nashville.
Yes. Thank you guys very much
Same.
for joining us. Dr. Ong, thank you for your time, and
Yes.
hope
thank you
your
so much.
husband recovers, and we'll see you in Nashville.
We hope to see you.
hopefully I'll make it there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.